So we're here in Portugal, and in the city of Lisbon, we have absolutely fallen in love with the architecture and the people, the entire town. But it's mostly been the food. So we're gonna take you guys to some of the best spots we found in the city. There's some cheaper ones, there's some expensive ones, and there's a bonus one at the end that's a little bit different from the others, but definitely worth checking out. Atala Royale is a higher-end steakhouse located in the back of the Embaixada, which is a concept high-end shopping mall in the Príncipe Real district of Lisbon. The inside of the restaurant is almost cavernous, with high ceilings and spacious rooms hidden inside the back of this historic 19th century palace. For this dinner, we ordered 3 things. First, the bolo do cacau. This was a round bread, freshly baked and coated with just the most amazing savory garlic butter. Katu got the lombo, which was a lightly seasoned cut of very tender filet, and I got the lombo macerato. It's similar to the lombo, but with a lot more marbling. This led to a much better flavor, but did increase the work as there was a lot more fat to get through. That being said, both steaks were truly out of this world. They were tender, they were flavorful, they were cooked to perfection. Clearly the cuts that were used were of the highest quality. And that being said, there's actually a little portion of the restaurant where you can buy raw cuts to take home yourself and cook. But I wouldn't recommend it. The cooks at Atalho clearly know how to properly treat a high-quality cut of steak, and it shows. For a steakhouse of this caliber, the prices are actually pretty reasonable. Katu's steak was 15 euros, while mine was 18. We've had steaks of this quality back home in the US, but they'll normally run you on the higher end from 25 all the way up to 35 or even $40 a piece. I gotta say, when we eventually return to Lisbon, we will be making it a point to return back to Atalho Real. Stop number 2 is Anosa Casa, a place we actually found by accident while searching for dinner on Google and walking through the Bairro Alto district. We had no idea what to expect, but I gotta tell you, we were extraordinarily surprised with how good, and most importantly, how different all of the dishes ended up being. Anosa Casa focuses on tapas, smaller plates meant to share. We actually started the meal with their daily couvert, which is an assortment of fresh bread, butter, and these tiny little pickles that I've never actually had before, but truly stood out in that little plate. We ordered 3 main dishes. The first one, the porco mahaldo. This was just a scrumptious pork served with lettuce and cabbage, and the trick to it was to make sure you got a little piece of everything on the fork each time. The flavors combined is what really made this dish. The next one was the borrego y favas. That's a lamb and pork served with fava beans and tomatoes, and the biggest thing I can remember about this dish is everything tasted fresh. The lamb and pork were both cooked well, they were tender, they were flavorful, and the fava beans and tomato had just an extraordinary amount of taste packed into each bite. The last item was the cavala. This was actually a mackerel dish with, strangely enough, roasted pumpkin, seaweed, chili oil, and steamed mussels. I'd say this was probably the standout dish of the night. Something about the roasted pumpkin sweetness mixed with the umami from the seaweed and the heat from the chili oil really came together in a way that we didn't expect and in a way that we were extremely happy about. And from that dish, I can definitely say the biggest benefit to Anosa Casa was the strange combinations of flavors that also happened to work out really well. We also had our first glass of verde wine here. It's a sweet wine made in Portugal from grapes that are barely ripe. It was smooth and refreshing, and we continued to buy bottles of it over the entire month we were in Lisbon. In the end, even though Nossa Casa is definitely on the higher end of prices, our total meal with dessert and wine came out to 63 euros for just 2 people. It's still a must try if you're in the city. One thing to note, you want to make sure you get a reservation beforehand, especially if you have a group of more than 2 people. We lucked out just walking in, but across the board, it seems packed at all hours they're open, and you're definitely gonna want to call ahead for a seat. The building behind me is the Mercado de Ribeira, and the place inside of it doesn't actually belong on this list, but we're adding it. Inside is a place called the Time Out Market. It's a little bit touristy, but here's why it's on the list. Each stall inside is from a different restaurant and a different chef that is great at what they do, highly rated restaurants, and they kind of just display their best dishes of the actual restaurant. So if you want a sampling of great flavors and great restaurants from around all of Lisbon, the Time Out Market is actually a really great place to go. The prices are the same as they would be at the restaurant, so if you want to know if you'd like a place like Simai or Asian Lab, go on in, try one of their dishes. If you enjoy it, make a reservation and go and have dinner at the actual place. Really good stuff. We're gonna go try some. So I'm kind of cheating on this one. I've actually had this sandwich before. So the prego sandwich translates to nail sandwich, kind of a Portuguese staple. This sandwich is bread, meat, bread. You can get like other ones that have different stuff on it, but this is really good. I got it from O Prego da Piaxaria. I'm butchering that. We'll obviously put this down at the bottom. It is a super simple sandwich, but really good. And ever since the first time I had it here at the Time Out Market, I've been craving it, so that might be part of the reason why we put the Time Out Market into this video where it technically doesn't belong. I don't care.
I picked up a vegetable pad thai at Asian Lab. Their specialty is noodles and Asian rolls. I'm so hungry. No, the dish is amazing. It's the ingredients are really fresh, the noodles are really well done, and I got the vegetable, but it's making my nose run how spicy my pad thai is. Too much bread and spicy. Oh, she burned all the way down.
Our last stop is O Trigorino, a small local restaurant in the Alfama district focusing on truly authentic Portuguese cuisine. This was actually the first place Kat and I went to on our first night in the city. On this visit, however, we decided to go with two friends we met while in Lisbon, Jordan and Valentina. We ordered a bottle of Verde wine and 3 dishes for the night. I had the grilled pork steaks, perfectly seasoned and very tender. Jordan had the grilled picanha, also well seasoned and cooked perfectly. And Kat and Valentina shared a grilled sea bream meant for 2. You might notice I'm not talking a lot about the interesting mix of flavors or the strange ingredients in these dishes. This is because these dishes are simple, very straightforward, and frankly delicious. And this was a hallmark of some of the best Portuguese cuisine we had in Lisbon. It all seems to be made up of simple but fresh, high-quality ingredients, and it's all cooked in a pretty straightforward manner, but it makes for some of the best dishes we've had. O Trigorino is a great example of this. They let the prime ingredients in each dish, in this case the meats and the fish, really stand out and present their own unique flavors. O Trigorino is actually a fairly inexpensive restaurant as well. With an entire bottle of wine, a dessert we all shared, and our 3 dishes, our total meal came out to be 40 euros, which is an amazing deal for, frankly, an amazing meal. One thing to note, however, is that the restaurant only accepts cash, so make sure to have some on you if you decide to stop by, and I cannot recommend stopping by enough. If you are anywhere near Alfama and looking for something other than the usual tourist traps, O Trigorino is definitely worth looking up.
So we're going to end the video here. Spend some time with our friends Jordan and Valentina.
All of the places we've eaten at have been amazing. Portuguese food has been phenomenal here in Lisbon. And again, all of the places we went to are going to be down in the description, but the prices have been great.
Very healthy.
Very healthy, very good flavors, and we're looking forward to Porto. But I hate saying this, but like and subscribe, and we hope you enjoyed it. See you on the next one.